Hello students, today we are going to study class 9th Beehive book, lesson 5, The Snake and the Mirror. This is written by Wakam Muhammad Bashir. Okay, this is the 5th chapter of your Beehive book. First of all, let us see the introduction of this chapter. This story is a narrative within the narrative. The writer tells us the story which was told to him by a homeopathic doctor. As we see from the title, the snake and the mirror are the two most important things in the story. This homeopathic doctor encountered a snake, means he faced the snake. The snake fell on the doctor. When the snake saw its reflection in the mirror, it was more interested in that, and the doctor's life was saved. Now let us see the explanation of this chapter para by para. Has a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra. All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. Homeopath means homeopathic doctor. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. Tale means story. It was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. The homeopathic doctor is telling the story. He asked the writer and the group if anyone had ever been wrapped up by a cobra snake. The audience became silent due to the fear of the cobra snake. Then the doctor told his story. It was a hot summer night, almost 10 o'clock. He was returning home after having his dinner at the restaurant. As the doctor was opening the door of his room, he heard a noise from above, but he did not react because he was used to such type of noise. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meagre. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase. Along with some shirts and dhotis, I also possessed one solitary black coat which was then wearing. Meagre means small in quantity, means very less. Possessed means had. Solitary means single. Let us see the explanation. He has used to listen to this kind of noise as it was the noise of rats. There were many rats in his room, so he was used to that noise. He was addicted to that noise. There was no light in the doctor's room, so he lighted the kerosene lamp with a matchbox. He had taken a small room on rent. As he had just started his medical practice, his earning was very less. That is why he was living in such a dirty condition. He told the writer that he had just 60 rupees in his bags. Further, he added that he had some shirts and dhotis to wear. He also had a black colored coat which he was wearing at the time of the incident. I took off my black coat, white shirt and not so white vest and hung them. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. Yard means is an open area like a garden or veranda. Gable means एंड अपर पार्ट ऑफ ए वॉल बिलो ए स्लॉपिंग रूम, जिसे आप दुछत्ती बोलते हो जिस टाइप से. He removed his coat, his shirt, and his vest. He says that the vest was not so white, which means that it was dirty. Then he opened the windows. The room which he had taken on rent was on the outside of the house, and one wall of the room faced the garden. The roof had tiles on it, and the gable was supported by the beams. Inside the room, there was no roof. The beams on which the gable was supported was full of rats, which went in and out of the room through it. मीन्स जो चूहे थे वो घूमते रहते थे इधर एंड उधर. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind gods seemed to have taken time off. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. Taken time off. To take a day off is take a holiday. He set his bed near the wall and he lay down to sleep, but could not sleep. It seemed that the wind god had taken time off. Means that as the wind was not blowing, the wind god had taken a day off. He was on a holiday and so wind was not blowing at all. He had gone out to get some fresh air because he did not have any fan or cooler in his room and he was feeling very hot. He came back to his room and sat on a chair, and he opened the box under the table and took out a book named Materia Medica. He kept it on the same table on which a lamp, a mirror, and a small comb was lying. He opened it and sat outside. Once one feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. I took a book. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty. Admirer means तारीफ करने वाला. And I believed in making myself look handsome. I was unmarried and I was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Again, I heard that sound from above. As he was sitting in front of the mirror, he looked at his image in the mirror. He says that he was a great admirer of beauty. As he was a young man, he liked so to appreciate beautiful things and wanted to improve his looks to look more handsome. As he was unmarried and he was a doctor too, he was an eligible bachelor. So he wanted to make people know that he was so available. He combed his hair and trying to set them properly. When he was combing his hair, he again heard the same sound from above but ignored it. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin moustache to look more handsome. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. I was after all a bachelor and a doctor too. On top of it, again came that noise from above. Earth-shaking decision means something very important on top of it to add on to something. He looked carefully in the mirror and decided that he would shave daily and grow a thin mustache because he thought that he would look better and more handsome with it. The doctor repeats that he was not married and was a doctor too, so he wanted to say that he was supposed to look very handsome. He was supposed to be good looking so that he could get a better match for himself. He appreciated himself and said that he had an attractive smile. Another thing that he decided was that he would always keep smiling because he looked better when he smiled. The doctor was being ironic when he said that to keep smiling was an earth-shaking decision, means it was very important. Again, he is stressing that he was a bachelor and to add to it, he was also a doctor. He thought that he had a lot of value and that is why he wanted to look handsome. I got up, paced up and down the room. The another lovely thought struck me. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. She had to be fed for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistakes and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. Paced means walked. Valid means logical, justifiable. He got up from his chair and started walking up and down in the room, and then he decided on one more thing. He decides to marry a woman doctor, one who had lots of money and a good medical practice. Further, the doctor thought that he would marry a fat girl. For that, he had a logical reason too. He reasoned that if sometime he makes some mistakes and his wife chases him in anger to hit him, she will not be able to run fast and catch him if he would be fat. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. There were no more sounds from above. Suddenly there came a dull thud as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Surely nothing to worry about. So I thought I would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snake's landing on me and my turnings were simultaneous. Wriggled means crawled. Simultaneous means happened at the same time. Thinking all these things, the doctor again sat down on the chair. Now the sound had stopped, but all of a sudden something fell down, making the sound of a thud. It felt like some rubber tube had fallen, and the doctor did not bother about it. But then he thought of turning around to see what had fallen. As soon as the doctor turned, he saw that a big fat snake had crawled over the chair and sat on his shoulders. The timing of the doctor's turning around and the snake's landing on his shoulder was the same. I didn't jump, I didn't tremble, I didn't cry out. There was no time to do any such thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. Slithered means twisting and crawling motion of the snake. Hood means head of the snake. He didn't panic, jump, or tremble. He didn't shiver. He didn't scream. It happened so fast, so instantly that he didn't have any time to react. The snake moved in such a way that it wrapped itself on the doctor's left arm like a coil. It was such a position just 3 to 4 inches away from his face, and if he would have moved slightly, the snake would have bitten him. The doctor says that he was not very only holding his breath but had turned into a stone, just like a statue. Although physically he was still like a statue, but his mind was very actively. He was thinking that he should do what he should do next. The door opened into darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. I felt then the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. God was there. Suppose I said something and he did not like it. I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words of God. There was some pain in my left arm. It was as if a thick leaden rod, no, a rod made of molten fire, was slowly but powerfully crushing my arm. The arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. What could I do? The doctor The doctor said that there was darkness all around him. Outside the room, inside the room, it was all very dark. There was only single light, the light of the lamp, and in that light he was sitting like a statue. As he was in trouble, he started feeling the presence of God. He was not able to do anything, so he started thinking of God. He decided not to speak, lest he should anger the snake. In his heart, the doctor was praying to God to save his life. As the snake has coiled itself, it was wrapped itself around his arm. It was experiencing a lot of pain. He was feeling as if a thick molten rod made of lead was crushing his arm and breaking it. He felt helpless. He could not do anything to save himself. At my slightest movement, the snake would strike me. Death lurked 4 inches away. Suppose it struck, what was the medicine I had to take? There was no medicine in the room. I had uh, I was but a poor, foolish, stupid doctor. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. It seemed as if God appreciated that. The snake turned its head, it looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. Feebly means weakly, strike means attack, lug means hid. He knew that if he moved a bit, the snake would attack him. Death was very near. It was sitting at a distance of 4 inches. He thought that if the snake bit him, then what would he do? What would he do in case the snake had bitten him? Which medicine he would take, and then he recalled that there was no medicine in his room. He felt that he was a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. He was feeling very weak, and as he did not have any way to come out of this situation, he smiled at his foolishness. The doctor felt that God appreciated the doctor's realization of his mistake. Something favorable happened, and the doctor's life was saved. The snake moved its head to the other side and saw the mirror. It looked at the mirror and it saw its own reflection in it. I do not claim that it was the first snake that I had ever looked into a mirror, but it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eye shadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? Vermilion spot means red bindi. It was not possible that any snake had ever never looked at itself in the mirror before. But yes, the snake was looking at itself in the mirror, and the doctor was surprised because the snake was looking at itself in the mirror very carefully. He was thinking that maybe it was admiring its own beauty. Was it trying? The doctor imagines that the snake must be imagining different styles, like he was thinking few minutes back when he was looking at his face in the mirror. He thought that maybe the snake was thinking of growing a mustache, or maybe of wearing eye shadow or mascara to look more pretty, or maybe it was thinking of wearing a red colored bindi on his face. I didn't know anything for certain. What sex was this snake? Was it male or female? I will never know. For the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. From there, it crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. Closer quarters means to get a closer look. The doctor did not know whether it was male or a female snake, and he says that he will never come to know this because just then it crawled from his arm and moved down into his lap. From there, it jumped and started crawling over the table. It crawled very close to the mirror and started looking at itself. The doctor thought that maybe snake wanted to look at itself and have a closer look at its appearance. I was no mere image cut in granite. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Phew! Each of us heaved a sigh of relief. Somebody asked, Doctor, is your wife very fat? No, the doctor said. God willed otherwise. My life companion is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. Granite means form of a marble, it is a stone. Reedy person, a thing or person resembling a tall, thin leaved plant of the grass family. The doctor was no longer an image statue made of stone. As soon as the snake crawled and got down from him, he came back to life. As the snake had crawled out of doctor's lap, he stood up. Till now he had stopped his breath because he was scared of the snake. Now he quietly moved out of the door, jumped from the garden and ran away. All the people who were listening to the doctor's story got relief and took a deep breath. After they came to know that he was saved, and someone from that group asked him whether his wife was fat, he replied that his wife was thin and tall, just like a reed plant, because God did not want his wife to be fat. So she was thin and could run very fast. Someone else asked, Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you? The doctor replied, I ran and ran till I reached a friend's house. Immediately I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning at about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there, but we found we had little to carry. Smeared means covered with. Little to carry means his belongings were stolen and there was nothing much left to carry away. Another person from the group asked him whether the snake chased him. He replied that he ran and ran till he reached a friend's home. There he took an oil massage, took bath and wore fresh clothes. He did not know if the snake had chased him or not because he did not look behind him. The next day, around 8:30 in the morning, the doctor along with two of his friends went to the room to bring his belongings from there. There was not much stuff to take. Some thief had removed most of my things. The room had been cleaned out, but not really. The thief had left behind one thing as a final insult. What was that? I asked. The doctor said, my vest, the dirty one. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness, the rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. Rascal means a mischievous or cheeky person, especially a child or a man, a naughty person. Someone had stolen most of these things from his room but left behind one thing. He thought that the thing which he left behind was to insult him. The writer asked the doctor what was the thing which the thief left behind. He replied that he left the vest which was dirty and was hanging on the wall. He added that the thief was so much into cleanliness that he left the dirty vest there only. He says that the naughty thief could have taken it along with it, washed it with soap, and could have used it. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? The doctor laughed. I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty. Take, taken with means attracted by. He laughed and replied that after that night he never saw that snake. Maybe the snake was attracted towards its own beauty. That is why it looked so carefully in the mirror. This is all, students. I hope you all have understood. Thank you for watching the video.